Reset Club, we are talking about one of my most favorite weekends of the year. And I promise you, it is not a race recap because, those are so boring to listen to. But it does have some parallels of how the weekend transfers over to our lives in a real significant way. So last weekend, I spent about 30 hours in a van with 5 other runners in the Ragnar Relay. Now, the Ragnar Relay is a long 200-ish mile relay that for us starts at the border of Canada and it works its way down the coast of Washington. There are 2 vans. There are supposed to be 12 people in total. Now, our team only had 10 people and 5 of the runners in our van were running. Our 6th runner was injured and she had 19 miles for us to cover. So just keep that in mind. And as we were running through the coast of Washington, we slept very little. We ate a lot of snacks, way more snacks than I typically recommend. We laughed until our stomachs hurt. There were pranks, there were jokes, there were just so many moments of lifting each other up in the hard times. And by hard times, there were a few. There were a few. But somehow we came home from that weekend exhausted and energized at the same time. It's pure magic. And during the weekend, I was reminded several times why we train. It's not for the gym. It's not just for aesthetics. It's not for a number on the scale. It's not even for a race. We train so that we never have to say no to an adventure because our body can't handle it. And I think sometimes we've forgotten what fitness is actually for. We spend so much time talking about the perfect workout or the perfect nutrition plan, getting the right macros, or how many days and with how much intensity we're going to work out each week. Those things matter, but they're not the end goal. The goal is to build a body that allows you to fully participate in your life. Ragnar wasn't just about running. It never is. Yeah, there were many runs during the weekend, 4 to be clear. There's very little sleep. I slept for about an hour from 4 a.m. to 5 a.m. on Saturday morning. There's that constant getting in and out of the van, cheering on your teammates, bringing them water, ringing the cowbells, yelling, losing your voice a little, trying to eat enough and hydrate enough, and figuring out the logistics, like specifically, where is the next honey bucket? And of course, you're doing this and getting ready to run again and again and again. And none of my workouts look like that. None. But every workout that I've done prepared me for it. Every strength session, every cardio workout, every mobility routine that I did, every time I said yes to a recovery day was preparing me to say yes to this event. That's what fitness is supposed to do. And now this weekend was not perfect. It never is. It's what makes for the best stories. At one point, I took a pretty hard fall. I landed face first into the asphalt. It was part gravel, part asphalt, part road, let's say. And I look like I took a few rounds with Rocky. My face is bruised, my body scraped up. And for a moment, I laid there wondering what this was going to mean for the rest of the weekend. This was only my second run, and I still had 2 more runs to go. I wondered, could I run? Could I contribute? Could I help my team that was already down? Those fears in my head, like how fast that goes through you when something happens. Now, thankfully, I was able to contribute. I had to collect myself. I had to take a moment. I had to try to get breath back in. I got the breath knocked out of me. And I walked for a few minutes and I just did a little inventory. Do I have all my teeth? Yes, I was bleeding, but how bad was I bleeding? I had to just do a little, pull myself together moment. And it was that moment that reminded me that resilience isn't about everything going according to plan. It's about adapting for when it doesn't. And I will also say that running while texting probably isn't a great idea. Yeah, you might end up kissing the ground a little bit like I did. And if you're watching this on YouTube, you're probably like, I don't see her face messed up. Well, my cheek is really bruised. My entire jawline is swollen and hurts. I can't sleep on my right side. My chin is swollen, it's cut, it's bruised. I bit it with my face, let's just say. But we're 4 days out, so things are healing, things are looking better. And I, have to think too. I shared this story on LinkedIn this week, and someone left a comment that really stuck with me. They said that the miles didn't disappear, the team redistributed them. And I haven't stopped thinking about that because it's true in running, but it's also true in life. When we neglect our health, the work doesn't disappear. It simply gets redistributed. And sometimes that's your future self carrying it. Sometimes it's your spouse or partner. Maybe it's your kids. Sometimes your coworkers pick up the slack. And sometimes your own body keeps the score. Ignoring strength doesn't mean aging is going to get easier. Skipping cardio doesn't mean that your heart stops aging. Putting recovery on the back burner doesn't make fatigue disappear. Eventually, those miles get redistributed. And that's why I believe that performance is a health skill. When I say performance, I'm not talking about standing on a podium. I'm talking about how does your body perform through everyday life? Can you recover after a long weekend? Can you bounce back after travel? Can you spend all day hiking and still enjoy a dinner afterward? Can you schlep your luggage through the airport and get your suitcases in the overhead bin without dreading it? Can you play with your grandkids? Can you help a friend move? Can you get knocked down both literally and figuratively and get back up again? That's performance. I honestly don't care if you ever run a Ragnar. I highly recommend it, but I care that you keep saying yes to the life you want. And maybe that adventure is hiking to a majestic waterfall or traveling more. Maybe it's skiing, kayaking, chasing those kids around. Maybe it's dancing all night long at your daughter's wedding. Whatever your version of adventure looks like, your body should help you experience it, not hold you back from it. I've worked with women who have told me that they don't need to strength train because they're never going to run a race, or they're never going to climb that mountain, or they're never going to what. Ragnar isn't the point. One day, life is going to ask something of your body. It could be an unexpected trip. It could be a long hike. It could be helping a family member or recovering from that fall. Simply having enough energy left at the end of the day to actually enjoy it instead of face planting into the couch. When that day comes, you won't wish that you spent more time trying to look fit. You'll wish you had spent more time becoming capable of living. That is why we train. Not because we're chasing perfection or obsessed with fitness, although some of us kind of are. It's really because we're building the body that gives us options, a body that allows us to say yes. Last weekend reminded me that the gym is not our final destination. It's the preparation, because every workout is like a rehearsal for the performance that is life. So here's my question that I want to leave you with today. What are you training for? Maybe it's not a race. It doesn't have to be a Ragnar. Maybe it's that trip you're dreaming about. Or maybe it's the hike, that magical hike. I mean, right now in this recording, it's summertime. Or maybe it's simply having enough energy at the end of the day to really live purposefully for yourself, with someone you love. Whatever it is, train for it. Because the goal isn't to become better at working out. The goal is simply to become better at living. And that's what being a badass is really all about. If you feel stuck where you don't know how to get to that point, reach out. I offer free strength assessments. Let's see where you need to build a bridge, where you need to go, what your next step should be, and work it out together. My purpose is to help all women feel strong, confident, and badass in their bodies and in their lives. And I want nothing but the best for you. Now, that being said, stay on your feet and go get them.